In today's video, we're going to have a look just very briefly again at the lemniscate. So drawing the horizontal lemniscate here. So you want to have practiced your horizontal lemniscate, sorry, vertical of course, but you also want to have practiced your horizontal. So you want to be able to quite comfortably do your lemniscate where you release at the sides and then you bind in the middle if it's in this case horizontal, or you want to, so you release here at the top and then you bind in the middle, and you release at the bottom and then you bind in the middle. And what that means is just that, when you release in the rounded bit here, you go slightly faster and then you slow down in the bind in this part here, and then you release at the side, and then you slow down and then you release and you slow down, release and bind here in the middle. So bind in the middle, release at the sides or top and bottom. And the reason that it's important that you have these and that you're able to do these so they are harmonious is because we're going to look again at the middle stage of the lemniscate inversion. And basically you'll maybe remember the middle stage of the lemniscate inversion was when the form ended up looking like this. As you can see, mine isn't perfect, but I'm not worried about that. I just go over my form again. And it's important that you draw this in a large version, which is why really an A4 piece of paper isn't big enough. So you want to go fast and then you want to slow down for your central part, so your bind. So let's just explain. So your release starts here at the top. You're releasing in the round here, and then when you're getting to the cross point here, you're binding. So in this part here, which is a kind of wave form, that's where we're binding. So this is where we're slowing down, and then you're releasing again on the other side here in the round. So you go faster here, and then you're slowing down again in the central bit, and then you're releasing, and then you're slowing down, releasing, and then slowing down in your bind. So every time you come to the center part, every time you come to the crossing part, that's when your bind starts. And because we've got a crossing point here, that's the first bind, and you've got a crossing point, that's the second bind here. So in this shape, you actually have two releases and two binds. So you have a release and a bind, release, and then bind and bind, release, bind and bind, release, bind and bind. So you want to practice this shape, and you want to practice this, as I said, large. You also want to practice it in the horizontal position. So I'll just show you what that looks like. When you want to draw the middle stage of the lemniscate inversion in the horizontal position, you want to draw a half circle and then a waveform. So you basically have a half circle that goes into a waveform, and then you continue with a half circle and then a mirroring waveform. As you can see, mine is far from perfect here, but I'm not concerned about that. Again, I'm just going over my form and correcting it as I go. So the important thing here is feeling your way into the form and trying to correct as you go. And the more you practice, the better you will get. It's absolutely ideal to create this in an motion like I did. I started at the side and create a half circle that then goes into a waveform, and a half circle that goes into a mirroring waveform. But if you can't do that, if it feels really difficult and you can't get it harmonious after maybe lots and lots of practice, then what you could do is you could start off by simply creating your horizontal lemniscate. And then once you've only drawn your horizontal lemniscate, then you add on your line above and below, so that you then feel, what does it feel like when you're doing it this way? It's important to practice both the shape with the lemniscate in the horizontal position and the lemniscate in the vertical position, because it's the foundation for the next few exercises that we're going to be working with in the next few videos. So practice this form and the same form but in the vertical position, and we'll see you again next week.